The air smelled of ozone and burning circuits as I stepped onto the derelict landing pad. The old ship groaned, metal straining against the vacuum of space as if it remembered better days. I looked down at my little sister, clutching a torn blanket, her eyes wide with hunger and fear. She did not cry. She never cried. Not since the draft raids began. Not since we lost our parents. The woman beside the wreckage watched me with eyes that had seen 1,000 dying stars. She called herself a mechanist, but her hands were scarred, her face lined with battles most humans would die facing. Her ship had failed in the middle of the belt. She called it impossible to fix. I smiled. Impossible is a human word, I said, voice steady though my stomach twisted with worry. The mechanist raised an eyebrow, her metal arm creaking as she folded across her chest. You are small, she said. Your species breaks too easily. Why risk yourself? I do not break easily, I said, though the hunger in my sister's eyes made my heart pound like a war drum. I climbed the ladder into the belly of her ship, ignoring the sparks that hissed around me. The wiring was a mess of alien alloys I had never touched, glowing with energy that made my fingers tingle. Humans adapt. That is what I told myself. Humans survive. Humans saw what no one else can. Hours passed. I burned my hands. I cursed in every language I knew. I thought I heard the ship laughing at me. The mechanist watched, silent, her gaze a mixture of suspicion and something else, perhaps disbelief. I had a plan. A human plan. I traced the circuits with my fingers, whispered patterns to the ship as if it were a living creature, coaxing it to obey. And slowly, impossibly, the engines hummed. The hull shook. Sparks flew like fireworks in the dark void outside. My sister clutched my leg, her small hand shaking. It works, I said, though I was not sure if it would. The mechanist leaned closer, her voice sharp. Do you have any idea what just woke up? I know humans, I said simply. We make the impossible our habit. A shadow passed over the viewport. Something large. Something not human. It stared, silent, ancient, dangerous. I felt a shiver run down my spine, but my hand stayed steady on the controls. The ship's systems flared to life. Lights blinked in alien codes. Engines purred like a living beast. And the shadow did not leave. It waited. I took a deep breath. I am human, I said, louder this time, not just to myself, but to the universe. It was a promise. A challenge, a declaration. The mechanist smirked, just slightly. Perhaps, she whispered, there is more to you than your size suggests. And as we lifted off the battered landing pad, my sister clinging to my back, I felt it. The universe had noticed. Somewhere out there, old powers stirred. Aliens with weapons older than stars sharpened their minds against ours. But humans do not flee. Humans do not bow. Humans fight. And we will. The engines roared. Sparks danced along the hull. The shadow followed, circling like a predator. I gritted my teeth. I adjusted the engines. I had no weapons. I had no allies. I had something the universe could not calculate. A human heart, a human mind, and a human resolve. And we were not done yet. The ship groaned. The mechanist tightened her grip on her tools. My sister whispered, Brother? Yes, I said. We survive. We fight. And we will not stop. Outside, the void waited, and we aimed straight at it. The shadow followed us through the void, massive, silent, like a predator that could swallow planets whole. I gripped the controls tighter. My sister's tiny hands pressed against my back, her eyes wide but trusting. Brother, it is huge, she whispered. I know, I said, but humans do not cower at size. We adapt. The mechanist muttered something under her breath, the language of engineers who had seen the galaxy burn. I ignored her. Focus mattered. Survival mattered. My sister mattered more than anything in the universe. The ship trembled. Sparks erupted from the engine bay. Alarms screamed in alien tones I barely understood. I twisted wires, rerouted power, and shouted instructions at the ship as if it were alive. Humans command the impossible. We make the universe bend to our will. And the ship obeyed. Slowly, painfully, but it obeyed. The shadow moved closer, revealing features that should have made my blood run cold. Eyes like molten stars. Armor plated in blacker than space metal. Limbs ending in weapons that could crush moons. But humans do not flinch. Humans do not freeze. Humans fight. I yanked a control lever, firing the ship's emergency thrusters. The ship lunged sideways, sparks flying from its outer hull. The shadow adjusted. It was fast. Too fast. I clenched my jaw. Humans improvise. Humans think. Humans survive where others perish. I remembered a trick from old Earth pilots. Momentum, gravity, surprise. I veered toward the nearest asteroid belt, hoping to use the tumbling rocks as shields and weapons. The mechanist raised an eyebrow, perhaps impressed despite herself. "You are reckless," she said. "I am human," I replied. "Reckless is our specialty." Asteroid screamed past the viewport, jagged and lethal. The shadow followed, crushing a small moon like paper. I did not panic. Panic is not human. Calculation is human. Courage is human. I twisted the ship through the belt, narrowly dodging rocks that could shred our hull in seconds. The shadow mirrored us, but it could not predict human ingenuity. Not entirely. I spotted a massive fragment, a shattered mining station drifting uselessly in space. An idea struck. Humans use what others discard. Humans turn weakness into weapon. "Hold on," I shouted. "We're going to make a friend." The mechanist's hands flew over the console. "You are insane," she hissed. "Maybe," I said, "but humans survive insanity." I grabbed the ship's magnetic grapplers, firing them at the station's remains. The shadow lunged and I twisted, dragging the station fragment between us. It hit with a thunderous impact. Sparks flew. Alien energy flared. The shadow recoiled, surprised, but it did not retreat. It learned quickly. Humans do not stop. Humans do not retreat. Humans do not surrender. My sister clutched my arm. "Brother, it is angry." "Yes," I said, "and humans are louder." I recalibrated the engines, turning our damaged ship into a battering ram, using every ounce of ingenuity, courage, and desperation I possessed. Because humans fight when hope is gone. Humans rise when impossible looms. Humans survive when the galaxy seems against them. And the shadow? It would learn that lesson. The void was alive with danger. The mechanist's old systems groaned under strain. Sparks turned into fires. Alarms screamed in tones that would make other species surrender. But humans thrive in chaos. Humans prevail in storms of stars. Humans are impossible to predict, impossible to kill, and impossible to ignore. And this was only the beginning. Beyond the shadow, beyond the asteroid belt, beyond even the limits of human imagination, lay challenges no one else would dare face. I smiled, adrenaline sharpening my mind. "Ready, little sister?" I asked. Her eyes glowed with trust, fear, and excitement all at once. "Yes," she said. "I am ready." The shadow roared, a sound that shook the hull. And I laughed. Humans do not run from fear. Humans chase it. The stars awaited, and we aimed straight at them. The shadow surged forward, blacker than the void itself, its molten eyes tracking our every movement. I gripped the controls, feeling the thrumming heartbeat of the ship beneath my hands. "This is not a fight you win by running." I muttered. "This is a fight you win by being human." My sister leaned against me, tiny but unafraid. I could feel her courage feeding mine. The mechanist's hands flew over the console, rerouting power from damaged systems to the experimental pulse engines I had activated. "Do you even know what that does?" she shouted. "Not fully," I admitted, "but humans do not need to know everything to act." The engines flared, and the ship lurched forward with a speed that defied logic. Sparks rained from the hull. The shadow twisted, trying to keep pace. I twisted again, banking toward the heart of the asteroid belt, where jagged rocks of forgotten debris from long-dead civilizations floated in chaotic patterns. Humans think differently. Humans turn danger into opportunity. I spotted a glimmer among the rocks, a massive, half-buried relic, older than any human record, carved with symbols no alien had explained. "Old powers," the mechanist whispered. Do you know what you are touching? I know humans do not fear the unknown, I said. We dominate it. I fired the ship's magnetic grapples, yanking the relic free. It was enormous, covered in alien glyphs that pulsed with energy as if alive. The shadow hissed, a sound that reverberated through metal and bone alike. It recognized the relic. It feared it. Hold tight, I said to my sister. We are about to show the universe what humans can do. I interfaced with the relic, my fingers tracing its patterns, my mind calculating angles, energy flows, resonance. Humans understand what others dismiss. Humans see patterns others cannot. Humans turn relics of the dead into tools of life. The relic responded. Energy arcs danced across the ship's hull. Systems that had failed ignited with impossible power. The shadows shrieked in fury, striking at the ship, but I was faster. I twisted, banked, dodged, and let the relic's energy guide us. Humans adapt. Humans improvise. Humans survive where empires fall. The mechanist gasped. You are bending it. You are using it like it is yours. I am human, I said. We do not borrow power. We claim it. The shadow recoiled, unsure now, hesitant for the first time. Its confidence cracked. My sister cheered, a small but mighty sound in the chaos. Brother, you did it. I smiled, but I knew better. This was only the first strike. The universe was vast. Ancient powers slept in countless star systems. Alien horrors waited beyond every pulse of light, and the void itself was hungry. Humans are the answer. Humans are the question. Humans are the storm no one can stop. I looked at the mechanist. She finally smiled, a thin, rare curve of respect. You are reckless, she said, and terrifying, and human. I nodded. Exactly, and humans never quit. The shadow hissed one last time before retreating, circling in the darkness like a predator learning humility. We had survived, for now, but I knew the galaxy had taken notice. The relic hummed under my fingers. The ship shivered. My sister rested her head against my back. And I smiled, because humans fight when no one else dares. Humans rise when impossible falls. Humans conquer the void with heart, mind, and courage. And this was only the beginning. The stars waited. Ancient powers stirred. Alien empires sharpened their claws. And I whispered to my sister, get ready. The next challenge is coming, and humans are ready for everything. The stars stretched before us like a battlefield waiting to be claimed. The relic hummed beneath my hands, pulsing in time with my heartbeat. My sister leaned forward, eyes bright with awe. Brother, what does it do? It amplifies everything humans can do, I said. Strength, speed, cleverness, courage, everything that makes us unstoppable. The mechanist shook her head, disbelief etched in every line of her face. No species should control something like that, not even humans. Humans are not most species, I said. We do not bow to rules the universe tries to impose. A ripple passed through space. A fleet of shadow vessels appeared beyond the asteroid belt, moving like dark waves toward us. They were vast, silent, deadly. Alien designs warped in ways human minds would struggle to comprehend. I tightened my grip on the controls. My sister clutched my arm. The mechanist braced herself against the console. Time to prove it, I said. Humans do not wait for hope. Humans create it. I interfaced fully with the relic. Energy surged through the ship, wires glowing, engines screaming. We shot forward, dodging the first wave of shadow fighters, weaving through debris, using the asteroid field like a predator in its hunting grounds. The relic responded to human instinct, amplifying our speed, our reflexes, our perception. I fired the ship's thrusters in precise bursts, dodging plasma beams that could vaporize planets. Humans adapt where others fail. Humans improvise where others perish. Humans survive where entire civilizations crumble. The mechanist's voice broke through the alarms. You cannot keep this up. The fleet is too vast. I do not need to, I said. Humans do not fight everyone at once. Humans pick the fight we can win and create the rest as we go. I targeted a cluster of shadow ships, luring them toward the asteroid field. The first vessel struck an asteroid. Its hull cracked. Energy cores exploded. Debris shredded two more behind it. The Shadow Fleet faltered. Confusion spread. They were not prepared for tactics like ours. Humans think differently. Humans fight differently. Humans win differently. My sister's voice was loud now, steady. "Brother, you are amazing." I laughed, though my hands never stopped working. "Humans are amazing, little one, and we are just getting started." The Relic pulsed stronger. The ship's damaged systems ignited in a symphony of power. The shadow vessels recoiled, retreating slightly, but they were still a threat, a warning, a promise. I knew the universe had changed the moment humans touched this relic. No fleet, no ancient power, no shadow in the void could underestimate humans again. And the next move, the next strike, would show them exactly why. I looked at the mechanist. She nodded, finally accepting the truth she had doubted. Humans are a force beyond prediction, beyond reason, and beyond fear. The Shadow Fleet regrouped. Energy flared from distant ships. The Relic hummed, impatient. I smiled. "Let them come," I said. "Humans are ready for everything the galaxy can throw at us." The stars waited. The Relic pulsed. My sister clutched my arm, and I whispered, "It is our turn to show the universe what humans are truly capable of." The Shadow Fleet hesitated, sensing something they could not calculate. I gripped the controls tighter. My sister pressed against my back, and I felt her courage flow into me like a current of fire. The Relic pulsed brighter, resonating with human determination, with our defiance, with our refusal to be conquered. "Target the lead ship," I said to the mechanist. "Human brains, human hands, human hearts. That is our weapon." She raised an eyebrow, but she obeyed, her hands moving over the console with precision. Humans adapt faster than any calculation. Humans improvise in ways no algorithm can predict. I launched a chain of energy pulses from the Relic, each one guided by instinct, by intuition, by sheer audacity. The first shadow vessel shuddered. Its hull cracked under the impact. Energy sparks erupted. The rest of the fleet faltered. Their formation broke. Confusion spread. Humans exploit weakness instantly. Humans strike at the cracks others do not see. I twisted the ship through the debris-strewn battlefield, weaving between asteroids, dodging plasma fire, and using gravitational pulls like a master chess player. My sister shouted, "Brother, you are winning." "Yes," I said, "because humans do not wait for victory. We take it." The mechanist leaned close. "Do you realize what you're doing? That relic, it should have destroyed us." "It does not destroy humans," I said. "It amplifies us. It shows the universe what humans can truly do." The lead shadow ship fired a beam of energy that could have shredded a planet. I tilted the ship, sending the energy beam skimming past the hull. Sparks rained, systems screamed, but we survived. Humans survive where others perish. Humans thrive where others crumble. Humans fight when nothing else remains. I aimed the relic at the lead ship. Energy arcs danced across the void, forming a trap that no alien could anticipate. The ship crashed into an asteroid, then spun into the others. A chain reaction erupted. Shadow vessels tumbled in chaos. The fleet scattered, uncertain, hesitant, afraid. My sister cheered. The mechanist clapped, shaking her head in disbelief. "We did it," I said, though I knew it was only the beginning. Ancient powers stirred in the depths of space. Alien empires sharpened their claws. Darkness waited for the next mistake. But humans? Humans never stop. Humans never surrender. Humans always find a way. I set a course deeper into the galaxy, toward the systems where the next challenge awaited. The relic hummed, the ship shivered, and the stars themselves seemed to bend toward human audacity. I looked at my sister. "Are you ready?" "Yes," she said, eyes blazing. "Good," I said, "because the universe has not seen anything yet." The Shadow Fleet would return. Ancient powers would rise. Impossible threats would hunt us, and we would meet them all, head on. Humans do not fear the impossible. Humans conquer it. And this was only the beginning. The stars ahead were different. They were not merely suns. They pulsed with intent, as though the galaxy itself was watching. The Relic hummed, warning us. My hands ached from gripping controls, but I did not let go. "Brother, it feels strange," my sister whispered. Her voice trembled, but she did not flinch. "That is the universe noticing humans," I said. "And we are never invisible to the impossible." The mechanist leaned forward. "Do you realize what you are approaching? That star cluster, it is a prison, a tomb, a test no species has ever survived." "Good," I said. "Humans do not fear tests. Humans set the standard." The ship shivered violently as we crossed the outer rim of the cluster. Energy spikes erupted around us, invisible currents that tore at the hull and twisted space itself. Ancient intelligence, I realized, not a fleet, not a predator. Something older than stars, watching, waiting, judging. The Relic pulsed violently, reacting to it. I felt the ship respond, almost like it was alive, almost like it knew we were human. The mechanist whispered, "It will try to break you. It will try to destroy everything you are." I smiled. "Good. Humans do not break. Humans do not bend. Humans fight." A shadow detached itself from the swirling light. A being of pure energy, massive beyond comprehension, with eyes that burned like the first stars. It spoke, not in words, but in thought, in pressure, in a presence that threatened to crush my mind. "Why do you persist? Human?" it asked. "You are weak. You are fragile. You are nothing compared to galaxy." I did not hesitate. "Humans speak with action, not fear. We are humans," I said, "and humans are everything you underestimate." The Relic surged. Energy arced across the ship, shields glowing, engines roaring, systems reconfiguring themselves at impossible speed. The ancient intelligence lashed out, sending waves of force that could crush worlds. I twisted, dodged, and fired pulses in the Relic, guiding them with instinct and audacity. Humans are unpredictable. Humans are unstoppable. The mechanist shouted over the alarms. "You are insane." "I am human," I replied, "and humans survive what others cannot even face." The sister clutched my shoulder. "Brother, it is huge." "Yes," I said, "but humans are bigger in spirit." Energy collided. Stars themselves seemed to tremble. The ancient intelligence reeled in surprise, encountering resistance it had never calculated. Humans improvise. Humans adapt. Humans defy the impossible. I guided the ship through a gravity well, dodging plasma tendrils and psychic pressure, using every instinct, every ounce of human cunning. And the Relic pulsed brighter. The ancient intelligence recoiled, recognizing what it had never accounted for. Human ingenuity. I knew we could not destroy it. Not yet. But humans do not need to destroy everything to survive. Humans exploit weaknesses. Humans create opportunity where none exists. The stars themselves seem to lean in, watching humanity rise. I looked at my sister, her tiny fists clenched, her eyes shining with trust and courage. "Are you ready?" I asked. "Yes," she said. "Good," I said, "because humans do not run from ancient powers. Humans claim their place in the galaxy." The Relic flared. The ship surged forward. The test had begun. And humans never fail when everything else says they should. The ancient intelligence stretched across the void like a living galaxy, its presence pressing on every nerve, every thought, every heartbeat. It whispered through the ship's hull, through the Relic, through my mind. "You are insignificant. Human, you cannot survive this trial." I gritted my teeth. Humans do not bow to whispers. Humans do not fear the impossible. We are human, I said aloud, and humans survive what gods and monsters cannot. The ship shuddered violently. Energy storms erupted around us. Plasma arcs tore through the debris field. Gravity wells bent reality. I pushed the ship harder, twisting through impossible angles, dodging attacks that would have obliterated anything else. My sister clutched my shoulder. "Brother, it is everywhere." "Yes," I said, "but humans are everywhere too. We do not yield. We do not break. We fight." The mechanist's voice cut through the chaos. "No species should be able to do this. You are defying laws older than your solar system." "I know," I said, Humans make laws. Humans define limits. Humans take the impossible and turn it into survival. The ancient intelligence sent a psychic probe into my mind. Memories, fears, regrets. It tried to drown me in them. I smiled. Humans endure. Humans adapt. Humans convert fear into strategy. I focus on the relic. Its alien energy pulsed in harmony with my thoughts. Together, we created patterns, traps, pulses, and defenses that no intelligence had predicted. The intelligence recoiled. Surprise rippled through its presence. Humans, it realized, were unlike anything it had ever observed. I steered the ship through a collapsing nebula, using energy surges to catapult us past psychic tendrils and plasma storms. The relic flared brighter. I pushed further, integrating instinct, courage, and audacity into every maneuver. The ancient intelligence lashed out massive arcs of pure force, but humans do not rely on strength alone. Humans calculate, improvise, exploit. I spotted a gap in its energy pattern, a flaw even an intelligence older than stars could not anticipate. "Hold on, little sister," I shouted. We plunged through the gap, the relic guiding us like an extension of human ingenuity itself. The intelligence shrieked across the void, a sound that could unmake planets. But we emerged unbroken. Humans survive. Humans adapt. Humans conquer. My sister cheered, small but fierce. The mechanist stared at the ship, her expression a mix of fear and awe. "Do you realize what you just did?" she whispered. "Yes," I said. "Humans do not survive by chance. Humans survive by being human." The ancient intelligence paused, as if reconsidering everything it knew. It had not lost, but it had been forced to acknowledge a truth. Humans are unpredictable, relentless, and impossible to destroy. The stars around us seemed to shimmer with approval, or perhaps with challenge. The galaxy was not done with us. I looked at my sister, her tiny hands gripping my shoulder. "Ready for the next challenge?" "Yes," she said. "Good," I said. "Humans never stop. Humans never surrender. And the universe will learn that." The relic pulsed once more. The void stretched ahead, full of danger, full of opportunity, full of challenges that no species but humans could face and survive. The relic hummed, thrumming with the energy of human defiance. Ahead, the void rippled with strange distortions, marking the heart of the intelligence's domain. My sister leaned forward, eyes wide. "Brother, are we going to win?" I smiled, not letting fear show. Humans do not think in terms of winning or losing. Humans act. Humans survive. Humans redefine impossible. The mechanist tightened her grip on the console. No species has ever walked through this part of space alive. "Good," I said. "Humans are not most species." We crossed the threshold, and the stars seemed to warp. Space itself resisted, twisting like molten glass. The ancient intelligence projected visions, illusions of failure, death, and despair. I gritted my teeth. Humans see beyond illusions. Humans turn fear into opportunity. I focus on the relic, letting it harmonize with human instinct, using its alien power as an extension of human ingenuity. Energy arcs formed around the ship, defensive and offensive, synchronized with my decisions in real time. The intelligence struck a wave of raw force that could annihilate worlds. I dodged, weaving through impossible trajectories, using the relic to redirect energy back toward the void, testing its reactions, probing its weaknesses. The mechanist shouted, "You cannot control that." "I do not control it," I said. "I guide it. I direct it." Humans do not need control to survive. They need courage, wit, and resolve. The intelligence's focus faltered. Its vast awareness could not anticipate human unpredictability. I spotted an anomaly, a gap in its defenses, a flaw in its ancient logic. "Hold on, little sister," I shouted, punching the thrusters. We surged through, blasting the intelligence's psychic tendrils with pulses of energy from the relic. Sparks flared, stars shivered, and the void itself seemed to tremble. The intelligence recoiled. Surprise, something it had not felt in millions of years, rippled across its consciousness. Humans do not yield. Humans adapt. Humans fight beyond reason, beyond calculation, beyond fear. I maneuvered the ship through collapsing star fields, dodging attacks that could crush entire planets, exploiting every opportunity, every misstep. The Mechanist's eyes widened. "How are you doing this?" I smiled. "Humans see what others cannot. Humans use the impossible as a weapon." The intelligence shrieked across the void, but we were already past it, our ship glowing with power, defiance, and the promise of human resilience. My sister cheered. "We did it! We survived it!" I said, breathing hard. "And humans do not survive by luck. We survive by being human." The stars ahead gleamed with possibility. The void stretched endlessly, filled with threats, challenges, and mysteries. And humans would rise to meet them all. The Relic pulsed, a heartbeat in sync with my own. The Mechanist finally nodded, respect in her eyes. "Perhaps humans are not just survivors," she whispered. "Perhaps you are the future." I looked at my sister, who smiled through exhaustion and fear. "Yes," I said, "humans are the future, and the universe will learn it one impossible challenge at a time." The void waited. Shadows stirred. Ancient powers whispered. The void stretched endlessly ahead, dark and silent, yet alive with currents of ancient power. Every star we passed seemed to watch, their light bending in ways that made even seasoned pilots dizzy. I gripped the controls, my fingers raw, knuckles white. The Relic hummed beneath my hands, resonated with my heartbeat, responding to my decisions, my instinct, my audacity. "Brother, what is that?" My sister's voice trembled, not with fear, but with awe. I did not answer immediately. Humans do not flinch in the face of the unknown. Humans do not hesitate. Humans calculate, improvise, and dominate. That, I said finally, is an opportunity, and humans do not waste opportunities. The Mechanist leaned over the console, her metal arm creaking as she studied the readings. Opportunity? That thing is older than most galaxies. Its intelligence bends space and time. If it decides we are insignificant, we die. I smirked, a dangerous, reckless smirk. And humans decide that death is never an option. We do not die because the universe says so. We survive because we are human. The Relic pulsed violently. Sparks erupted across the control panels, threatening to ignite into full-scale failure. I ignored it, letting the alien energy merge with instinct. Humans do not wait for permission. Humans do not calculate odds that others cannot fathom. Humans act. A ripple ran to the void ahead, a wave of distortion that twisted light, matter, and reality itself. The ancient intelligence manifested, not as a single form, but as a living storm of consciousness, shifting shapes that defied geometry, a presence that could make lesser minds shatter simply by observing. It spoke, not in words, but in thought, in force, in psychic pressure. "You are nothing human. You cannot survive this. Your species is weak, fragile, insignificant." I laughed, the sound echoing across the empty expanse. Humans do not survive by being strong or fragile. Humans survive by being human, and that is a force you cannot calculate. The intelligence struck first, sending a wave of pure force that shredded light itself, bending the ship like paper in a hurricane. I twisted, dodged, and fired energy pulses from the Relic, turning its attack back toward the distortions. The ship shuddered violently, systems sparking, but we endured. "Brother, it is everywhere," my sister whispered, clutching my arm. "Yes," I said, "but humans are everywhere too. We do not cower. We do not yield. We fight." The Mechanist muttered under her breath, disbelief etched in every line of her face. "You are impossible. Absolutely impossible." Humans thrive in impossibility. Humans see solutions where others see only despair. Humans turn fear into strategy and chaos into opportunity. I let the ship dive into a collapsing nebula, the walls of gas and plasma lashing at the hull like living whips. The intelligence followed, its presence twisting around us, probing, attacking, trying to predict our moves. Humans cannot be predicted. Humans cannot be calculated. Humans adapt. I felt the Relic respond, pulsing in tandem with our survival instinct. It became an extension of us, guiding the ship through impossible trajectories, feeding energy into engines, shields, and weapon systems in a symphony of precision. The intelligence struck again, psychic tendrils tearing at our minds, forcing visions of death, despair, failure, and hopelessness into every synapse. I closed my eyes for a fraction of a second, letting instinct take over. Humans endure more than fear. Humans endure pain, uncertainty, and the impossible. The ship twisted violently, dodging energy arcs, and I fired the relic in a sequence that defied logic. It struck the intelligence's psychic shields in cascading pulses, forcing it to recoil. The mechanist's eyes widened. "You are doing the impossible." I smiled, though sweat dripped from my forehead. Humans define impossible. The intelligence gathered, a storm of awareness that could annihilate galaxies in a single thought. Its energy formed a vortex, pulling at stars, asteroids, and our ship itself. I leaned forward. Humans survive where others fall. Humans fight when the universe says we cannot. Humans turn what should kill us into a weapon. With precise timing, I released the ship's emergency thrusters and activated the relic's energy surge. The ship shot forward like a living spear, weaving through the vortex, each movement guided by intuition and courage. Energy arcs from the intelligence struck asteroids around us, creating a chain reaction that sent debris crashing into its psychic form. The intelligence shrieked in frustration, a sound that vibrated through space itself. My sister cheered. "Brother, we are winning." "Yes," I said, "but humans do not win by luck. Humans win because we refuse to fail. Humans survive because we innovate, improvise, and endure." I traced patterns along the relic's surface, ancient glyphs lighting up in response to human thought. Energy cascaded outward, forming traps and defenses the intelligence could not anticipate. It struck again, more violently this time, sending waves that could crush moons. I twisted the ship, using the relic to redirect the force back toward the vortex, destabilizing it, forcing cracks in its ancient structure. The mechanist shouted over alarms. "You cannot sustain this. The energy will tear the ship apart." "We do not sustain," I shouted back. "Humans overcome." The intelligence faltered, surprised by a species it had long considered weak, fragile, and insignificant. It recalculated, and it was not fast enough. I aimed the relic at a concentrated gap in its form, energy cascading outward in precision pulses. The intelligence shrieked, a sound that could unmake stars, as our attack disrupted its focus, forcing it to recede. Humans survive the impossible. Humans prevail where others perish. Humans fight when the galaxy itself conspires against them. We emerged from the collapsing nebula, battered but unbroken. Sparks flew from the hull, systems screamed, but the ship and humans aboard remained alive. The intelligence paused, swirling in the void, assessing. I could feel its awareness trembling slightly, a hesitation had not experienced in eons. Humans endure where all else fails. Humans adapt where others fall. Humans define the rules when no one else dares. I looked at my sister, who had tears in her eyes but a smile that shone brighter than any star. "Brother, we did it," she whispered. "Yes," I said, "but humans never stop. We survived the trial, but the universe has more for us. And humans always rise to the next challenge." The mechanist finally allowed herself a small smile, nodding in respect. "Perhaps humans are not merely survivors. Perhaps you are the universe's anomaly, its unpredictable force, the species it cannot contain." I nodded. Humans do not wait to be understood. Humans do not wait to be accepted. Humans claim their place in the galaxy, by heart, by courage, by ingenuity. The stars ahead pulse with possibilities, ancient powers stirring, alien fleets repositioning, threats unseen waiting beyond the void. And we would meet them all, head on. The relic pulsed once more, humming in sync with human determination. Sparks cascaded across the hull as systems reconfigured, engines roared, and the ship surged forward like a living testament to human audacity. "Are you ready, little sister?" I asked. "Yes," she shouted, her voice echoing through the cabin. "Good," I said. "Humans never yield. Humans never break. And the universe will learn what it means to face humans." The void stretched ahead, dark, endless, dangerous. And humans advanced, unstoppable, unbreakable, and brilliant, ready for every impossible challenge the galaxy could throw. Because humans do not merely survive. Humans dominate. The void stretched endlessly ahead, vast, silent, and yet pregnant with expectation. The ancient intelligence had retreated, or at least paused, recognizing, perhaps for the first time, the unpredictable force that humans represented. I stood at the helm, hands still trembling from the exertion, my fingers scorched from the Relic's surging energy. My little sister clutched my arm, exhausted but radiant, eyes wide with awe. The mechanist leaned against the console, metal joints squeaking, her eyes heavy with disbelief and admiration. For a long moment, none of us spoke. The stars outside shimmered like distant witnesses, and the remnants of the Shadow Fleet hung broken and scattered behind us. "Brother," my sister whispered finally, her voice barely above the hum of the ship's systems. "Did we win?" I shook my head, smiling faintly. "We survived, little one. Humans do not always win, but we endure. Humans endure, and that is how we claim the impossible." The mechanist coughed softly, as if clearing the weight of centuries of skepticism. Humans, you are different. I have seen many species, many empires rise and fall, but none like you, none like your species." I nodded. "That is because humans survive where others perish. Humans adapt where others collapse. Humans do not follow rules the universe sets. Humans make the rules. Humans are humans." The relic pulsed once more, quieter now, as if acknowledging its own role in the survival of humanity. Sparks flickered across the panels, but the systems were stable. For the first time in days, I allowed myself a small sigh of relief. I looked at my sister. She was small, fragile by any other measure, but the fire in her eyes reflected the fire I had always known humans carried in their hearts. She had seen terror, hunger, and the edge of death, and yet she had endured. She had trusted me, and I had kept my promise. "Brother," she said, "can we go home now?" I swallowed hard. Home. The concept was distant, almost a memory, yet achingly necessary. "We will go home," I said. But humans never stop. Humans do not wait for safety. Humans claim it. The mechanist smiled faintly, shaking her head. I have to admit, I never thought I would witness this. Humans facing the impossible and surviving. You've done more than survive. You've proven something no one else could. You've made the universe take notice. I turned to her, gratitude in my eyes. Thank you for trusting us, for teaching us, even in your silence, what it means to survive, to think, to act. Humans build upon knowledge, but we also build upon courage, instinct, and heart. That is why we endure. Outside the viewport, the void stretched on, still dangerous, still alive with current of energy and shadows of old threats. But we had changed something fundamental. The Shadow Fleet, once terrifying and merciless, had learned hesitation. The ancient intelligence had learned caution, and the stars themselves had learned that humanity would not bend, would not falter, would not disappear. I leaned back, the first taste of real relief washing over me, and allowed my mind to wander. Humans had always been underestimated. Every empire, every alien race, every intelligence older than the stars themselves had assumed we would break under pressure. Yet here we were, scarred, battered, exhausted, but unbroken. I thought of Earth, of the blue planet so small in the vastness of space. The humans who had come before me, the ones who had survived plagues, wars, and famine, had no idea their descendants would carry their legacy to the stars. They had endured, and their endurance had been encoded in our DNA. That is why we could survive the unimaginable. That is why we could face the impossible. The mechanist stirred. "What will you do now?" she asked. Her voice was quiet, contemplative. "The intelligence may return. The shadows may reorganize. And there are more threats beyond this quadrant than you can imagine." I smiled faintly. Humans do not wait for safety. Humans do not wait for threats to arrive. Humans face them, and in facing them, they change the equation entirely. "We will continue," I said. "We will explore, adapt, and survive. Humans do not fear what is ahead. Humans learn, and in learning, they dominate. My little sister leaned against me, exhausted but trusting. "Do you think there are more like them?" she asked, eyes wide. "Of course," I said. "The universe is full of the impossible. But humans make the impossible bend." The relic pulsed softly now, almost content, as if it recognized the truth in my words. Humans had proven themselves worthy of its power, worthy of the challenge, worthy of survival. Days passed as we traveled to the quiet void, tending to the ship, repairing minor systems, and resting when possible. Each moment was filled with reflection. Humans, unlike other species, understood not only survival, but the value of learning from survival. Every maneuver, every risk, every choice had been a lesson, and humans absorb lessons better than any other species. One evening, I found myself staring out the viewport at a distant dying sun, its light dim but persistent. "Little one," I said, "do you see that? Even dying stars shine until their very last breath. Humans are the same. We shine brightest when the universe expects us to fail." She nodded, understanding far beyond her years. "We will shine forever, won't we?" "Yes," I said. "Humans shine forever. And every challenge we face, every impossible threat, every ancient intelligence, it will only make our light burn brighter." The mechanist approached, her mechanical hand resting lightly on the console. "You've changed the course of this quadrant," she said softly. "Whatever comes next, they will remember your species. They will adapt to your existence. And maybe, just maybe, humans will be the balance the galaxy never anticipated." I smiled. Humans do not seek balance. Humans create it. Humans define it. And humans survive. Our ship continued through the stars, moving steadily toward the human frontier. For the first time in what felt like eons, there was a moment of calm, a moment to breathe, to reflect, to consider the magnitude of what we had survived. And yet, the universe remained vast, endless, filled with challenges that would test every human to their limits and beyond. I thought of every human who had ever faced fear, who had ever stared at the void and chosen to act rather than run. Their courage flowed through me now, intertwined with my own. Humanity was not merely a species. It was a force, an unstoppable, unpredictable, unbreakable force. "Brother," my sister said softly, "do you think we will ever stop facing dangers like this?" I looked at her, and for the first time, I allowed myself a quiet, knowing smile. "No," I said, "humans never stop facing the impossible. Humans rise to meet every challenge. And humans endure, because that is what we do. That is who we are." The relic pulsed one final time as we crossed the edge of a new system, its energy resonating with the human spirit in a way no other species could understand. I knew it would guide us again when the next challenge came, as long as humans remained true to their nature. Courageous, clever, relentless, and unbroken. The mechanist shook her head again, a smile breaking through the stern lines of her face. "I have seen many civilizations fall. I have seen empires crumble. But never have I seen anything like humans. Never." I nodded. Humans endure. Humans learn. Humans survive. And one day, the universe will learn that humans do not merely exist. They conquer impossibility itself. My sister yawned and leaned against me, sleep overtaking her for the first time in what felt like an eternity. Her trust in me, her belief in humanity, was as powerful as any weapon we had faced. And in that small, quiet moment, I felt the weight of our victory. Not over the intelligence, not over the shadows, not over the impossible, but over fear, doubt, and despair itself. Humans do not merely survive threats. Humans turn threats into triumphs, obstacles into opportunities, and despair into determination. That was the lesson the universe would remember. The stars stretched ahead, endless and unknowable. Ancient powers stirred in distant quadrants. Alien fleets regrouped. Shadows shifted. And yet, humanity moved forward unbroken, unstoppable, unafraid. I looked at the mechanist. "Do you see it?" I asked. "We are humans. We define our destiny. We endure. We conquer. And nothing can take that away from us." She nodded, finally understanding, finally accepting a truth she had doubted. "Yes," she said softly. Humans are something else entirely. I reached down and touched my sister's hand. Rest now, I said. The universe will wait. But humans never stop. And when the next impossible challenge arrives, we will be ready. We always are. The ship continued to the infinite void, engines thrumming, Relic glowing softly, the stars witnessing humanity's passage. We had faced the impossible, and we had survived. And as humans always do, we would face it again. Because humans endure, humans rise, humans conquer, and humanity's light would shine across the universe forever.